Now, I left you at this stage with your basic brioche stitch in 2 colours, and we are going to work some increases. So we're going to increase on that stitch and again on that stitch. So an increase on the second brioche column there and on the 4th column. So working with the blue, which is the main colour for the front of my work, I'm going to knit the first stitch, which is my self edge, yarn forward, slip the grey, then work my brioche knit or bark, yarn forward, slip the grey, and this is where my first increase is going to go in. So working into my stitch as if to make a brioche knit, I'm going to knit, bring the point back through the work, put the yarn over the needle and straight back into the same side of the stitch and brioche knit one more time, and that leaves me 3 blue stitches coming out of that one stitch. Okay, so 3 blue stitches coming out of that one blue stitch. Yarn forward, slip the next stitch, brioche knit, yarn forward, slip the next grey. Let's do that increase again. So we're going into the stitch, brioche knit, bring the needle through, but don't slip off. Yarn over the needle, straight back into the stitch, brioche knit one more time, and we have 3 blue stitches out of that one stitch. Yarn forward, slip the grey, brioche knit, yarn forward, slip the grey, and there's my blue self edge stitch. My working yarns are at either end of my work, so I know I've worked the first half of a pass, so I'm going to go to the other end and work the second half of the pass. And the increase needs both passes to complete its work. So we're going to be purling the greys this time, so we're going to slip that first blue stitch, and then we have a brioche purl. Slip the blue stitch, yarn round needle, and there we have a brioche purl. Now we hit the first of our increases, and there are 3 stitches there. So the next thing we are supposed to do after a brioche purl is to slip one. So that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to slip the first of those 3 stitches purlwise, and we're going to put the yarn round needle the way we normally would. The middle one we're going to purl as if it was a brioche purl, but we only have the 1 stitch at the moment. The next one we're going to slip, yarn round needle, and as if by magic we have a brioche purl waiting for us. Slip a blue, yarn round needle, brioche purl, and that takes us straight back to the increase. Slip 1, yarn round needle, purl the middle one, slip the last of the 3, yarn round needle, and we're back into our pattern. There's brioche purl, slip, yarn round needle, brioche purl, slip the last blue, and that completes your increase, and you're then ready to work away on the other side as if they were normal brioche stitches. Well, as you can see folks, I'm still working on the same little sample adding all of the techniques that support your workshop. We had our cast on, basic brioche, a simple 1 to 3 increase. Now we're going to put in a 1 to 5 increase, and that runs like this. First pass on the main side. I'm going to knit my self edge, slip the grey, brioche knit, slip the grey, brioche knit, one of the pairs from my previous increase, slip the grey, brioche knit, yarn forward, slip the grey, and this centre one is where we're going to put in our 1 to 5, and it's the same technique as the 1 to 3. So into the stitch, brioche knit, bring it out, yarn over, into the stitch, brioche knit, bring it out, yarn over, and one last time into the stitch, brioche knit. So we have 5 stitches there where we previously had 1, yarn forward, slip the next stitch, brioche knit, and work to the end of the pass. Yarn forward, slip the stitch, brioche knit, yarn forward, slip the next stitch, brioche knit, yarn forward, slip the next stitch, and finishing on the self edge, just a knit. Our working yarns, one at either end, so we know we need to go to the other end of the needle to make the second pass. And we start by slipping the blue, and we're on brioche purl this time. So brioche purl, slip the blue, yarn round needle, brioche purl, slip the blue, yarn round needle, brioche purl, slip the blue, yarn round needle, brioche purl, and that brings us to our increase. So we should be starting with a slip, so we slip a stitch, yarn round needle, we purl a stitch as if it were a setup row, we slip a stitch, yarn round needle, we purl a stitch, we slip the 5th and final stitch, yarn round needle, and that puts us straight back at a brioche purl, so we know everything has run smoothly. Slip a stitch, yarn round needle, brioche purl, slip a stitch, yarn round needle, try not to drop a stitch, brioche purl, slip a stitch, yarn round needle, brioche purl, and slip the last stitch, which is the self edge. We're now ready to work the other side, and of course we're back on our main colour, but it's being purled on this side of the work. So we start with a purl stitch, slip the grey, yarn round needle, brioche purl, 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 slip the grey, yarn round needle, and here's where our increase is sitting. And we're in the middle of it, brioche purl, slip, yarn round needle, brioche purl. That's the 5th of the 5th part of our 1 to 5 increase. Slip the grey, yarn round needle, brioche purl, slip to grey, yarn round needle, brioche purl, slip to grey, yarn round needle, brioche purl, slip to grey, yarn round needle, and purl the last stitch, which is our self edge. We now have a working yarn at either end, which tells me I need to complete the second pass of that side. Slide to the other end of the work, other end of the needle, and we are on grey this time, which is being knitted on this side of the work. So we slip the blue, grey, brioche knit, yarn forward, slip the blue, brioche knit with the grey, yarn forward, slip the blue, brioche knit with the grey, yarn forward, slip the blue, brioche knit with the grey, yarn forward, slip the blue, brioche knit with the grey, yarn forward, slip the blue, brioche knit with the grey, yarn forward, slip the blue, brioche knit with the grey, yarn forward, slip the blue, brioche knit with the grey, yarn forward, slip the blue, brioche knit with the grey, yarn forward, slip the blue, brioche knit with the grey, and slip the last stitch, which is the self edge. And that's the 4 passes, forgive me, that are making up that 1 to 5 increase. I'm going to stick another couple of rows on before I start to work the decreases so that you can see the shape develop, and I'll let you see that at the start of the next video.